Unpopular. Meg roars as Anne and Kate become UK's best-loved royals while Sussexes fall to lowest. The Duchess of Sussex is now more unpopular than ever, with 7 in 10 Brits having a negative view of her, new polling suggests. Meghan's net favourability amongst the public has fallen to a record low of negative 47, the lowest that it's been since YouGov began recording it in 2017. Similarly, public opinion of her husband, Prince Harry, has fallen to negative 36, a 2-point decrease from April when it was negative 34. The Princess Royal is the most popular of the royals, with her net favourability standing at positive 60. Favour of the King, Queen Camilla, and the Prince and Princess of Wales are also on the rise, the survey of 2,000 people revealed. YouGov said net favorability is calculated as the difference between the number of people saying they had a positive review and the number of people saying they had a negative review. In Meghan's case, 68% have said they had a negative view of her and 21% have said they have a positive view of her, with 11% answering, I don't know. 6 in 10 have a positive view of the new king, with his net favorability standing at 32. This is lower than when he came to the throne in September, when he stood at 48, but it is an improvement on April, when it stood at 26, prior to the coronation. The Queen's net favorability has fallen to 4, a 5-point decrease on its standing of 9 in April. This remains higher than when the YouGov first began recording Camilla's popularity in 2011, when it stood at negative 15. The Prince of Wales' net favourability has risen to 57, with polling suggesting that 75% of Brits hold a positive view of their heir to the throne. This is a 5-point increase on its standing in April before the coronation, where it stood at 52. The Princess of Wales also saw her net favourability rise by 5 points, following the coronation rising to 59 from 54 in April. YouGov said favourability in the institution of the monarchy in general has improved to 25 since before the coronation, when it was at 19. This remains lower than it was in September, when it stood at 44. The result of the poll comes just 1 week after Meghan's podcast was axed from Spotify. The decision not to embark on a second series of the 13-episode podcast Archetypes, which was number 1 on Spotify's rankings only when it first came out, was seen by some as an admission of failure. Spotify and the Sussexes audio production company Archwell Audio released a joint statement saying they have mutually agreed to part ways and are part of the series they made together. But Bill Simmons, head of podcast innovation and monetization at Spotify, condemned the pair in an episode of his own podcast on Friday, saying, "The Grifters, that's the podcast we should have launched with them. I've got to get drunk one night and tell the story of the Zoom I had with Harry to try and help him with the podcast idea. It's one of my best stories." Simmons, a sports writer, founded sports and pop culture website and podcast network The Ringer and sold it to Spotify in 2020 for $200 million, actually. He then joined Spotify and has long been critical of the couple. Experts also claimed recently that the actress turned royal and Harry would not be receiving the full payout of $20 million. Netflix are also said to be conducting an ongoing review of its £80 million deal with the Sussexes. Similarly, Meghan said earlier this week that she was not signing a megabucks deal with Dior to become the face of the famous fashion house, despite rumors suggesting otherwise. Meghan and Harry had been linked to the French clothes company last weekend, and it had been speculated any deal could be worth as much as £15 million to the couple.